The secret method monks use to calm a racing mind and enter deep sleep through Zen Buddhism in you. You might cry, you might remember, you might feel a soft ache open up as the stillness touches something old. That's okay. That's not weakness, that's release. That's your nervous system resetting. That's your heart saying, "Thank you, I've waited so long to be seen." This is the power of Zen. Not loud, not dramatic, but deep, quiet, enduring. And yes, it leads to sleep. But not the kind that numbs. The kind that restores. The kind that makes you wake not just rested, but more whole. That moment of witnessing, it's sacred. It's where healing enters, not as an instant miracle, but as a gentle unraveling of knots tied long ago by childhood fears. Heartbreaks unspoken, mistakes you never forgave yourself for. When you simply breathe and let them be there, without turning away, your body begins to soften. Your heart lets go, just a little. And that little letting go, repeated night after night, is enough to change everything. In tonight's journey, before we begin, a gentle note: this isn't just a video, it's a space. A quiet space where you are allowed to pause, to breathe, to let go. There will be moments of silence woven into this journey, no voice, no words, only soft music and your breath. These are not empty spaces. They are part of the meditation. Moments for your mind to rest, for your heart to soften. Let them hold you, not rush you. And as we near the end, you'll notice the sound gently fading, easing you into deep sleep. Without effort, if you are still here, fully present until the last breath of this journey, you'll receive a small gift, a simple bedtime practice. Not just to help you sleep, but to slowly, gently, transform how you live. Let us begin now, together. In gentle. 1. The restless mind. Why we can't sleep in modern life. It's too late. The world outside is quiet. Yet inside your mind, the noise won't stop. Thoughts race like cars on a highway with no end. What you forgot to do. What someone said, the fear of tomorrow, the ache of yesterday. You shift in bed, hoping for peace to find you. But sleep, once natural, now feels like something you have to chase. You're not alone. Millions lie awake just like this every night. The more you try to force sleep, the further it drifts. The problem isn't just the lack of rest, it's the mental storm that keeps the heart from settling. In Zen, we call this the monkey mind, a mind that swings from one thought to another. Unable to sit still, unable to rest. Our modern life feeds this storm. Notifications, deadlines, unresolved emotions, even the pressure to optimize sleep. These all fuel the racing. The body may be lying down, but the mind is still in fight or flight. And how can deep sleep happen when the nervous system thinks we're still under attack? Zen offers us another way. It doesn't try to silence the mind through force. Instead, it invites us to observe, to be with, and to let go. Do not chase the thoughts, said Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh. Let them come and go like clouds in the sky. It sounds simple, even poetic, but it is the foundation of inner transformation. When we stop fighting the thoughts, something shifts. The mind softens, the breath slows, and what once felt unbearable becomes something we can gently hold with compassion. This is where Zen begins, not in perfection, not in control, but in presence. Recent neuroscience has echoed this ancient wisdom. Dr. Judson Brewer, a neuroscientist and mindfulness researcher, shares that anxiety loops are fueled by resistance and rumination. When we become aware of the loop, and do so without judgment, the loop begins to dissolve. That awareness, in itself, is calming. That is Zen. Imagine your thoughts as ripples on a lake. If you poke the water trying to flatten the surface, the ripples grow. But if you sit quietly and allow the lake to settle on its own, the reflection becomes clear. This is the essence of Zen deep sleep, not a technique to hack your brain, but a practice of letting the mind be, so it can find its own stillness. At the heart of Zen is the understanding that you are not your thoughts. You are the space in which thoughts arise and fall, like waves on the ocean. When you remember that, you no longer fear the waves. You let them rise, and you let them pass. And in that gentle surrender, deep sleep arrives, not as an achievement, but as a natural return to who you are. So tonight, if your mind begins to race again, don't panic, don't fight, just notice, breathe, feel the mattress under you, listen to the sounds around you. Let the thoughts drift like autumn leaves in the wind. There's no need to chase sleep. Let sleep come to you, softly, quietly, like the moon behind clouds. This is the Zen way. This is where deep sleep truly begins. 2. Monastic wisdom. How Zen monks understand the nature of thought. In the hush of a Zen monastery, you won't find monks battling with their minds. You won't hear them complaining about overthinking or asking for sleep remedies. But make no mistake, they have thoughts too. They feel fear, sadness, joy, and uncertainty, just like we do. The difference is, they've learned how to sit with it all. And slowly, gently, they've come to understand something many of us forget. You don't have to believe every thought that passes through your mind. A Zen monk doesn't try to stop thinking. That would be like trying to stop clouds from forming in the sky. Instead, they observe. They watch each thought rise and fall, like waves on a quiet shore. They practice non-attachment, the art of being present without clinging or resisting. Zen master Shunryu Suzuki once said, "Leave your front door and your back door open. Let thoughts come and go. Just don't serve them tea." That's the secret. Not fighting your mind. Not feeding it either, just witnessing. Imagine your thoughts are guests. Some are kind, some are noisy. Some bring pain, others bring hope. The monk greets each one with awareness but doesn't invite them to stay the night. This gentle distance, this mindful observing, is a practice of freedom. And it's not just for monks. You don't need a robe or a mountain temple to begin. You only need to pause and watch your thoughts without judgment, even just for a moment. In the practice of Zazen, Zen sitting meditation, monks are taught to come back to the breath again and again. When a thought arises, they notice it and gently return. No inner dialogue, no self-criticism, just return. Over time, this simple act becomes transformative. The mind begins to quiet, not because they forced it, but because they stopped adding fuel to the fire. Modern psychology echoes this ancient insight. Clinical psychologist Dr. Kristin Neff, a pioneer in self-compassion research, teaches that when we meet our thoughts with kindness instead of judgment, we break the cycle of stress and shame. It's not thinking itself that causes suffering, it's the grasping, the pushing away, the internal war. Zen monks know this. That's why they smile when their minds wander. They see the mind as a child, playful and curious. Would you scold a child for daydreaming? No. You'd hold their hand and gently bring them back. That's how monks treat the mind, with softness, with patience, and in that tenderness, deep sleep becomes possible. Because what keeps us awake isn't just thinking, it's the fear that thinking will never stop. But Zen shows us, it does stop. It always has. If you just sit long enough, breathe deep enough, watch gently enough, the storm passes. The sky clears, and in the stillness that follows, the body remembers how to rest. So tonight, if your thoughts come knocking, open the door, but don't entertain them. Sit with them, watch them, smile, even, and when you're ready, return to your breath, your body, your present moment. This is the way of Zen. This is the wisdom the monks have practiced for centuries. Not to escape the mind, but to understand it. Not to silence it by force, but to love it into stillness. That's the path to deep sleep, and you are already on it. Just keep walking, gently, slowly, with breath as your guide, and Zen as your light. Three. The secret method, a gentle nightly practice for letting go. There is a secret that monks carry, not locked in scriptures or hidden in temples, but whispered in the way they move, breathe, and simply are. It is not a technique to master, but a way of returning to the body, to the breath, to the moment just before sleep. A method so soft, so human, it can be practiced in silence, under warm blankets, in the quiet hours of a restless night. This is how Zen leads us into deep sleep, not by fixing us, but by helping us let go. The practice begins with something so simple we often overlook it, the breath. Not controlling it, just noticing. As you lie in bed, place one hand gently on your belly. Feel it rise and fall. Let it be your anchor. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once wrote, "Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor." In that breath, you don't need to go anywhere else. You are safe. You are home. Then, bring awareness to sound, not music, not guided words, just the sound of your room, your fan, the distant hum of life outside. Let sound come and go like gentle waves. Don't chase it, don't name it, just listen. In monasteries, monks sit in silence and let the sound of the world be their meditation bell. You can do the same, from your pillow, in the dark. This is Zen. Soon, thoughts may try to pull you back. They often come with urgency, memories, worries, things left undone. But here is the shift. Don't resist them. Label them, softly. Thinking, then return. No judgment, no force. It's like holding a bird in your hand. You don't grip tightly, or it flees. You don't let go completely, or it falls. You simply hold, with gentleness. That's how we hold the mind. As your awareness settles, scan your body. Start at your toes. Notice if they're tight or soft. Then your calves, your thighs, slowly up to your chest, your shoulders, your jaw. With each out-breath, invite a little more release. Let go of holding. Let gravity carry you. Monks call this body mindfulness, a sacred returning to the home you carry within. This entire practice may take 10 minutes or 2. It doesn't matter. It is not a race. It's a soft walk into rest. And the more you do it, not perfectly, but honestly, the more your body begins to trust sleep again. You're not trying to sleep. You're letting sleep find you, like dusk creeping gently into the corners of a quiet room. And what's beautiful about this practice is that it doesn't require belief. You don't need to chant, or sit cross-legged, or light incense. You just need a willingness to be here, to meet yourself. In this breath, in this moment, as you are. That's the most radical act of healing there is. And in doing so, you offer yourself to the night, not with fear, but with grace. This is how Zen monks sleep, not because they don't think, but because they've made peace with thinking. Not because life is easy, but because they've stopped running from it. And this peace is available to you, too, right now, in your room, in your breath, in your heart. So when the lights are off and the mind begins to stir again, don't panic. Breathe, listen, notice, release. Let this become your evening ritual, your quiet ceremony of coming home. Let this be your secret method, your path into deep sleep. Walk slowly, lovingly, with Zen as your companion. 4. Emotional healing. Why this method works on a deeper level. There's something that happens when you lie in bed at night. Lights off, the world finally quiet, the day falls away, and suddenly, what's left is you. Not the version the world sees, but the one carrying invisible weight, regret, loneliness, memories, fears too tired to speak during the daylight. And that's when sleep feels so far away. Not because your body isn't ready, but because your heart hasn't been heard. Zen doesn't separate sleep from emotion. In fact, it gently reminds us, we cannot sleep deeply if we haven't felt safely. That's why this gentle nightly practice, the breath, the sound, the awareness, isn't just about stilling the mind. It's about tending to the heart, the part of us that aches for understanding, not advice, for presence, not perfection. When monks return to the breath, they're not escaping life, they're turning toward it. Each exhale is a soft release of what no longer needs to be carried. Each inhale, a welcoming of compassion. You can't stop the waves, said Zen Master John Kabat-Zinn, but you can learn to surf. In Zen, we learn to surf emotion, not by numbing, but by meeting each feeling with the quiet strength of stillness. Modern science affirms this wisdom. Neuroscientists have shown that mindfulness practices, like breath awareness and body scanning, calm the amygdala, the brain's fear center. When we become gently aware of our emotions instead of pushing them down, we shift from reactivity to resilience. Our parasympathetic nervous system activates, the body's natural rest and digest state. This is where deep sleep becomes possible, not because we forced it, but because we finally felt safe enough to surrender. And safety, in Zen, doesn't mean the absence of problems. It means inner refuge, a place you can return to, no matter the noise outside. The monk doesn't need the world to be silent. He only needs to remember that silence lives inside him. And so do you. The beauty of this practice is that it's not another task to complete. It's an invitation to come home to yourself, to feel without drowning, to rest without guilt. When you lie down tonight and gently return to your breath, you're doing something revolutionary. You're giving yourself the care you've long offered others. No fixing, no performing, just being, and in that being, healing begins. You might cry, you might remember, you might feel a soft ache open up as the stillness touches something old. That's okay. That's not weakness, that's release. That's your nervous system resetting. That's your heart saying, "Thank you, I've waited so long to be seen." This is the power of Zen. Not loud, not dramatic, but deep, quiet, enduring. And yes, it leads to sleep. But not the kind that numbs. The kind that restores. The kind that makes you wake not just rested, but more whole. So if you've been wondering why nothing seems to work, the pills, the podcasts, the distractions, maybe the answer isn't outside of you. Maybe the answer is this quiet practice of returning, again and again, back to breath, back to body, back to being, because in that space, your healing begins. And from healing comes peace. And from peace, deep sleep arrives. Like a soft wave on a calm sea, waiting only for your willingness to be still. And as your emotions rise like soft waves beneath the surface, you may notice something curious. They begin to change the moment you stop resisting them. What once felt heavy becomes lighter. Not because it disappears, but because you're no longer carrying it alone. In Zen, this is called non-judgmental awareness. Just seeing something for what it is, without adding the burden of shame or the pressure to fix it. That moment of witnessing, it's sacred. It's where healing enters, not as an instant miracle, but as a gentle unraveling of knots tied long ago by childhood fears. Heartbreaks unspoken, mistakes you never forgave yourself for. When you simply breathe and let them be there, without turning away, your body begins to soften. Your heart lets go, just a little. And that little letting go, repeated night after night, is enough to change everything. You may begin to notice that the more you stay with yourself in silence, the less the noise outside defines your peace. The world can be chaotic, the news, overwhelming, relationships, imperfect, but your sleep no longer depends on any of that. Because now, you're creating an inner environment of calm. One breath at a time. One moment at a time. That's Zen. Zen Master Dogen once wrote, "To study the way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self." And when we forget the self, not by abandoning who we are, but by releasing the identities and stories we cling to, we return to something deeper. A place beyond roles, beyond anxiety, beyond the constant need to do. We return to being, and the body, so long denied this stillness, responds with deep rest. This rest is not escape, it's repair. Emotional repair, nervous system repair. It's the quiet mending of inner fractures. And that's why this practice works, not only for sleep but for life. You begin to feel more spacious inside, more forgiving, less reactive, not because you tried harder, but because you let go softer. So tonight, as you lie down, don't try to be Zen. Don't try to do it perfectly. Just be there. Feel your breath like a gentle tide. Welcome what comes. Hold space for yourself the way a monk holds silence, with reverence. You may not notice it right away, but something in you will begin to trust the night again. Trust yourself again, and maybe, for the first time in a long time, you'll fall asleep not from exhaustion, but from peace. 5. Becoming the quiet lake, living Zen, sleeping Zen. There comes a moment in the night when the breath settles. The thoughts dim, and you feel something deeper rising within, a stillness not made of silence, but of peace. This is the place Zen monks return to, night after night, not as an escape, but as a homecoming, a place where they don't just practice peace, they become it. In Zen, we speak often of the still lake. Imagine it now, wide, calm, untouched by wind, no ripples, no rush, just clarity. The secret is, that lake lives in you. Under all the noise, the overthinking, the fears, there is a quiet body of water waiting for your return. When you rest here, not just physically but emotionally, you begin to realize, deep sleep is not something you fall into. It's something you remember, something you were always meant to return to. This peaceful presence isn't only for nighttime. The monks carry it into their days, in the way they walk, eat, wash their bowls. Every action is done with awareness, not perfection. You, too, can bring that energy into your morning coffee, your evening routine, your small daily rituals. That's how Zen becomes not just a practice, but a way of life. Because Zen isn't about removing all stress or never feeling overwhelmed. It's about having an inner refuge when those things come, a soft place to land, a gentle way to begin again. And that begins each night, as you lie down and breathe with kindness, as you close your eyes not in tension, but in trust. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "There is no way to peace, peace is the way." So tonight, you don't need to try so hard. You don't need to fix yourself before you can rest. You only need to return to what's already true, that you are worthy of peace, worthy of stillness, worthy of deep sleep. And that's what this practice reminds us. Gently, night after night. If you are still here, at the end of this video, here is your reward. Regular practice will help you transform your own life for the better. Each night you choose to return to your breath, to your body, to this moment, you're not just falling asleep, you're planting the seeds of inner peace. And from those seeds, something beautiful will grow in your daily life. Calm responses, mindful choices, quiet strength. Tonight's small practice, before bed, light a candle or turn on a soft lamp. Sit for just 2 minutes. Breathe deeply. Place one hand on your heart, one on your belly. As you breathe, whisper softly, "I am safe. I am here. I release today with love." Then lie down and let yourself rest. Do this every night for a week. Let it become your anchor. If you want to continue this journey with longer, uninterrupted healing sessions, where videos flow one after another in a seamless rhythm to carry you gently into deep sleep, visit our playlist, Zen for Deep Sleep. These sessions last from 1 hour to even 3 hours, combining multiple videos into one continuous meditation for peaceful rest. Or, if you prefer shorter videos like this one, around 30 minutes, you'll find many others here on Buddhism in You. We create with care, so you always have the space you need. whether it's for a full night of sleep or a quiet moment before bed. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Your reflections, feelings, and insights help this space grow, not just as a channel, but as a community of healing. We read every message, and your presence here truly matters to us. Thank you for being here. See you tomorrow night, here,